What is going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is ATX Crypto, and today we are going to be talking about perseverance. We're going to be talking about how you continue to push forward and how it's not over until you're dead. Now, there's been a lot of things going on around the crypto space, around the crypto markets. There's been drama, there's been heated debates. Are we in a bull? Are we in a bear? Right? Is the bear market over? We have signs, we have the latest PPI numbers coming from the Fed. Everything is looking good. It looks like everything is turning bullish. There's been a lot of activity, people getting hyped up again. But guys, it's just a matter of time. As I've described in the past before, this is another chapter in your book of life, right? And and really I just want to discuss kind of that same sentiment, right? How it's not over until we're dead. How it's not over until the last bell rings as the saying goes. But we're going to say what's up to the folks in the chat real quick. Give a little shout out. Gabriel, hello, hello. Gabriel gave me an awesome website. I will probably be sharing in my next stream as we dive deeper into some crypto wallets. Um, Possibly looking into blockchain analysis and kind of giving a little education on that as well. So what's going on, Gabriel? Big GZ, what is good? ATX, I appreciate that, Big GZ. Thank you so much. I love the thumbnail as well. Love your picture. Nice little Transformer icon or looking like Transformer there. But love it, love it, love it. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. It is Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's hump day. We're in the middle of the week. Sometimes I lose track of the days as I do a daily stream live. To anyone who wants to come join this daily stream live with me, feel free to click that subscribe button right on down below. It is greatly appreciated. And let me take a sip of coffee and we'll get started. Earthling, what's up? Love the name. Hey guys. What is happening, Earthling? Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you tuning in. Love the energy that we get in the chat as well. And let's just kind of talk about this real fast, right? So there's always a saying, right? A phrase, if you will, that it's not over until you're dead. And this phrase serves as a reminder that no matter how dire a situation may seem, there's always a chance for things to turn around, right? This sentiment can be applied in every aspect of your life, from personal, any struggles that you have, to mental, and the struggles that we go through there, to professional, the setbacks that we have from our peers and our groups and our leaders and the people above you and behind you, right? But what can we do to make the most of the time that we have? And what can we take from those who have faced adversity and actually come out on top? Right? We know time and time again, I think there's a saying that Warren Buffett, will always say, you always want to focus on on the future, right? You never look into what you can always do right now. And he went through his own struggles in his life. We have several folks who have gone through these struggles as well and who have gone through adversity. And we can definitely learn from those folks, right? Not only folks in our Hex ecosystem, like the Richard Hart will say, right? He bought Bitcoin. He was mining Bitcoin at 50 cents per block, or 50 Bitcoin per block. He was buying Bitcoin at $30. Rode the roller coaster on down to $2. Rode it back up, and from there he's been on many other roller coaster rides as well, right? We get the ebbs and flows, we get the ups and downs, and we know they're gonna come. They're just naturally gonna come in life. But you have to be able to persevere through those moments to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think we can always learn from those lessons too, right? The folks who have a long-term vision typically come out ahead, whether it be in real estate, whether it be in stocks, whether it be in your own decision in your career. The people who have these long-term visions are typically the ones who are the most successful. They're most of the time in early, which always helps because they had the wherewithal to be keeping their ear to the ground to see what was going on and having their own views personally change. We all have to go through this point in time where we do have to develop some sort of change within ourselves. We have to come up with some sort of sense of who we are as an individual. And I think, I've talked about this in my previous stream or in previous streams as well. But like in my time in the Marine Corps, what I did is you take some things that you learn before you're an NCO, a non-commissioned officer, before you achieve the ranks of leadership in the Marine Corps, and you start having Marines underneath you, you start you see what the leaders above you were doing, and you take the aspects that you really enjoyed and you really liked what they did, and you say, I can take and pick and choose these pieces, and I'm going to be sure that when I'm in that position of power, I can implement these things. And then you see what some other leaders were doing in their position of powers. Were they abusing their powers? Were they doing other things that they shouldn't have been doing, that you didn't like, that you didn't agree with? Well, you can take those items and you can actually be sure to not include those items when you become that person in power, when you become that person in leadership. And I think that's something that we always have to strive to do. We definitely want to continue to grow as an individual. It's something that I will always strive to do. And in order to do that, you definitely have to be open to change. You have to be open to the idea that again, you're not always right. Right? You know what I mean? Maybe Richard Hart is always right, but that's a different discussion, right? That we talk about. So, one of the most important things that we can do in life is never give up, folks. It's definitely easy to get discouraged. It's easy to feel like you can just throw in the towel. But it's important to remember that failure is a part of the journey. It's a part of your story. It's a part of another chapter in the book of life, in your book of life, right? And so we can take inspiration from others who have faced seemingly insurmountable obstacles, right? And so like things that just you can't even begin to fathom what they went through in order to attain what they attained. Because it's easy to see a person when they've attained that position and almost think that it was kind of given to them, almost think that they were inherently going to get it no matter what. But what you don't realize is that so many folks have to overcome so many obstacles in order to get to that power, in order to get to that place in life. And I definitely want to take some individuals who have done those, right? And come out victorious, right? We know, for example, like J.K. Rowling, big fan of Harry Potter, right? Definitely a huge fan of what she did. But she faced rejection after rejection after rejection before Harry Potter became what it did. And it was a global phenomenon. And it was something that took the world by surprise. In fact, it became a whole franchise in and of itself. The books, the movies, the things you can buy, action figures, and everything about it, the games that came out following that, and just the overall inspiration that she was able to give people just through the Harry Potter. But again, that was a journey of hers that she had faced rejection after rejection after rejection. I think a lot of folks here, the Walt Disney, everyone has kind of heard that, for example, right? Walt Disney continued to face rejection after rejection after rejection, and now, I mean, you got to be hiding under a rock in order to not know what Disney is, right? They got Disney on the show. They have a whole channel. They have movies. They have TVs. They got, they have so many things that have come up and developed over it, and it's an absolute game changer for so many folks. It's providing employment. It's providing jobs, and that was something that, again, if this person did not continue to persevere and not continue to push forward, who knows what would have happened to them? Who knows, had they gotten rejected on the 10th time, 20th time, 50th time, and if those rejections just eventually stopped them from attaining what they attained. We definitely want to continue to push forward, right? We're currently sitting in a time of a market, a downward market that we haven't seen in a long time. We have crypto, which is finally seeing what the macro environment may do, or macroeconomics may do to the crypto space. Since Bitcoin's inception in 2008, crypto has never been in a macro recession environment, or a macro environment of recession, of this time where we're no longer just printing money. And so while the Bitcoin and crypto may go through the ebbs and flows of the 3 year, 1 year cycle that we've been seeing, as is common for the last 12 years, then again, like, now we're finally seeing, okay, this is what happens when crypto goes through a macroeconomics recession as well. Maybe it extends that bear market out longer than originally anticipated, which was the 3 year, 1 year cycle, which is 1 year of a bear market, 3 years of a bull market. And so now that we've kind of see how it may play out, now we can also implement some strategies going forward. And again, I definitely want to thank everyone who has come through, who has subscribed. Like, I'm doing this channel, and I'm doing a daily stream live, and and I'm doing the thing. I'm doing exactly what I preach on this one, right? I'm never giving up. It's something that I didn't know exactly what my forte would be whenever I first started streaming. I didn't know what I would bring to the community. I didn't know if I would just share my whole individual stories. If I would do, just diving in and not show my face and just give like tutorials. I didn't know. There was a whole lot of stuff happening that again, you just have to constantly continue to at least try. And yes, folks, we are going to fail. You are going to fail. There's in the fact that, like, I failed so many times before I found Hex, and the Hex community was kind of a testament to that same thing, right? And I was willing to continue to try and continue to keep going. So many folks came into crypto brand new in 2021, 2022, when it was the bull market and close to the end of the bull market cycle. And so many folks are probably going to stay away from crypto now because of the experience that they had. And that's a mistake. That's something that you're going to look back and regret. And then I'm not saying that just because you aren't in crypto that you're going to fail. What I'm saying is, if you're willing to give up after facing some adversity that easily, then you were never meant to make it in the first place, especially within crypto. But not only that, other aspects of your life, right? And you have to continue to push for what you want, folks. Some folks will do that with the woman they like or a man they like, and they'll continue to push toward the goal of pursuing that individual. Some people will do it for years on end before they finally succeed, or break the person down, or get to know the other individual so well through this whole span of time that it ends up working out in the end. But so many folks will have given up after the first rejection, or after the first sign of adversity. Thanks. Yeah, that's awesome. We got a new subscriber in the house. Thank you so much, Will. That means so much. Again, guys, the goal is to be at 600. I'm getting ahead of myself. 600 subscribers by the end of the month, and you can help me help you get to that goal as well, right? Click that red subscribe button, click the like button, come on in here in the chats, become a part of the ecosystem, and just have someone else to talk to, bounce ideas off of. So often do we feel alone and isolated, and that's something that I felt myself as well, and I still struggle with daily, and it's something that I continue to fight that battle, right? I reach out to friends who mean the world to me, but I know I don't reach out to them as often as I should. And they reach out to me and they check in on me, and that just means the world whenever I hear that stuff. And I don't necessarily convey that back whenever I'm like, I'm just doing okay, right? Or something like that. And sometimes you just got to, dive in a little bit deeper, kind of shed a little bit more emotion, if you will, and open up on this whole thing, right? Become that person who you do want to become, right? It's that manifestation of your reality, right? Start implementing items that you can manifest into your reality. What do you want to see in your life, right? Are you wanting a promotion at your job, and do you think about it constantly, or do you negatively think about, they're never going to give you a promotion, they're never going to do this, they're never going to do that? Because that will affect how you go about things and how you perceive the overall situation. And if you come into the picture and you flip that mindset, I will get that promotion. That promotion will be mine. And you manifest those thoughts, and then you start committing to actions to take the necessary steps to get to those thoughts. And then you can end up at the end achieving the thoughts, right? That's when it's absolutely crazy. And it's so cool when you can see that manifestation become a reality. And it really becomes the emotional thought process in the aura that you emit, right? Whether it's positive or negative, and that's going to attract whatever you're bringing. If you're bringing this positivity, a lot of the times that positivity is going to be attracted to you. Things are going to start magically happening. Doors will just start randomly opening. And it's just a really neat, interesting thing. And if you have a negative aura, sometimes we all go through it, right? Sometimes we get through some deep, dark times in our lives. And it's this another chapter in the book of life, in your book of life, and I've said that as well. It's how I view things. Sometimes when I'm going through some really tough struggles right now, I know that my life has so much more to offer, and that I'm what 35 years old, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not young. I'm not old. I'm just kind of coasting along at this point in time. But at the same time, I've experienced quite a bit, and I'm just sharing what I've seen happen personally in my life, right? And I do find that it is a reality thing, right? It's the same thing as like whenever you're in a situation, and if you ever say what's the worst that can happen, dude, you're just like opening the doors for fucking someone to just slap you in the face. And I do not like that phrase, right? I try to avoid it like the plague. I try to avoid it because I don't want to have that thought even come into my mind, right? Because like you don't know what the worst that could happen is. I have no idea what's the worst that can happen. But once you put that shit out there in the universe, someone's gonna show you what's the worst that can happen. And if you can avoid that thought all in all in the whole situation that you're going through, an absolute blast. Hey, love that, Gabriel. So we got Earthling saying crypto is dumping right now because the U.S. Justice Department just announced there's going to be an announcement about cryptocurrency action in 10 minutes. Yeah, but again, Earthling, we gotta zoom out, right? You want to zoom out from what we're seeing right now. And yes, this moment in time could be a moment in time where you have to make a decision about going in or getting out. But sometimes jumping into the water head first and just diving in, and then at the end you realize it wasn't that bad, right? The water wasn't as cold as you thought it was, or your body acclimates to it after a period of time. If you look at things in a very short term scale, things can always look really good and really bad, and that can really mess with your emotions. And so you have to zoom out and just say, okay, things are bad right now, but over the last 3 years, things have been great, right? And so that's why zooming out can sometimes be an absolute game changer for what we have to do. We have Gabriel saying, I'm 24, need to retire till 30. I'm assuming need to retire till 30. Past 30, I would hope, Gabriel. By 30 is what I think you're going for, maybe. Um, but yes, that is absolute truth right there. Earthling. Oh, and we have Oakhart's in the house. He says it best, right? Will Smith says it best. One brick at a time. Yes. In life, you definitely have to just start with fucking just putting that first brick down. That's how you build a house. That's how we like the houses that we live in now. It didn't just magically go up one day and just like there's a house. No, they started out by putting the foundation in place. And once they had the foundation in place, they start building the little walls and they start setting everything up. You start setting all the outlets, you start doing everything, and then you start placing the one brick thing at a time on the like so many steps that need to happen, but it begins with the basic of a foundation for a house at least. And sometimes the foundation is what we need to focus on. Sometimes you just need to get back to basics. I think I saw someone stream actually start that. Randy Alarski, if I'm not mistaken, his streams like getting back to hex basics, right? Sometimes we just need to focus on the basic thing to actually start going through. You hear this a lot in the military as well. So often the basic is actually what's going to lead you to get to be the best. If you continue to do just 1,000 punches, we'll say, straight punches the entire time, when the time comes and you're in a situation that you're fighting and you need to be doing some items, you aren't thinking about anything because it's all muscle memory, because you've built that foundation at the very precipice, at the very beginning of where you actually needed it to be. And the foundation is where we actually set everything on. And so you can do that same reality, right? You have to have that same mindset, that same thought process into perseverance, into not giving up, into realizing that, guys, this whole game that we're in, it's a big old game, but it's full of surprises. It's a roller coaster ride. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be left turns and right turns. There's going to be things that'll just shock you. The initial stop at the end, everything that happens. And then sometimes you just launch again, right? I've seen a roller coaster do that. We thought the roller coaster ride was over and then they freaking launch again. I thought that was so cool because you got two roller coaster rides and you didn't even expect it, but it was something that they already had planned. So again, one of the most important things to do in life is never give up. It's easy. It's so easy to just say like I'm done. I'm over it. I'm fed up with whatever's going on. And it's tough. It's important to remember that again, guys, failure is part of your journey. It is a part in which we go to and you have to experience in order to learn, right? We learn by failing. It's the same as like a baby at the very first time, just standing up. Like you fall over a thousand times before they can just stand for a solid second. You know what I mean? And then you do the same thing with walks, and you know they crawl and walk and all that stuff. And sometimes we forget that like those failures are what allowed us to get to where we are now. Those failures are how we learned. Asking questions when you fail is sometimes the best thing you can do. Going back and having some self analysis and self reflection into why that may have gone the way it did. Like, did I get a little bit too excited about a certain thing? Maybe, right? Did you jump in on hype cycles to the meme cycles of all these things going on? And was it the best decision? No, but if you continue to make that same mistake over and over and over again, then it's just like, what is it? Einstein says, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. Right? If you continue to do the exact same thing that caused you to fail the first time, then chances are you're probably going to fail the second, third, fifth time, however many times you go through and do it. But if you learn from those mistakes and you start tweaking and revising and modifying certain items, and then you push again and you go back forward again, sometimes that can be the best thing that can ever happen to you. So, right, we talked about J.K. Rowling and the fact that you know she went through her adversity. We talked about Disney and the fact that he went through and did his adversity just growing up, right? Another key aspect. Let me just see real quick what we got going on in chat. Thank you so much to everyone who is here, everyone who is tuning in. This isn't so much Hex related, guys. This is just a more fun, down to earth stream that I've been wanting to kind of share with a lot of folks. I know this may not get all the views and everything, but I love sharing just my thoughts and everything too. That's why I started this channel. I love talking about Hex, but I want to talk about personal development. I want to talk about mental health. I want other things to be happening too, right? It's not just always about gains in crypto, right? There are other aspects that we need to focus on. And you have to understand that sometimes the gains in crypto can come from learning from your failures. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we have to go about things, folks. That is what we're doing. And again, I appreciate everyone who is tuning in. And okay. Hey, it's all good. I understand. I understand. Feel free to do your thing real fast. And yeah, here we go. He said everything. Earthling says, "Oh yeah, totally. Maybe it's just maybe it just might be something to talk about. I'm staked for an average of 9 years. Oh, Earthling, I get you. I get you. Yeah, for sure. No, the crypto market's always going to go through its own little cycles. I appreciate you giving me the heads up on that article as well. It is something that I do commonly like to look into because again, guys, like that's something that you can learn. We have Orion in the house saying you can trust the math and that you don't have to trust the math. Love it. Love it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, code is code, right? Bright Light Crypto, simplify, never give up without what you want to believe in. Facts, Bright Light Crypto, Semper Fidelis, my friend. Ocart said, now I'm torn. Money Game Crypto is live now. Man, I don't know when to stream, folks. I'm trying not to step on any toes for people. Seems like we're gonna step on some toes no matter what. We just have that many folks in our community nowadays, which is incredible. So you do you. You stick around, you hang out, you go check out their show. Pull it up on a pull a Ballier brand scenario where I think he had like 5 streams going at the same time and would just chime in to all the streams. It was wild. Valerie Brand was a beast whenever I was first getting in. He was on every channel, always, no matter what. If there were 4 streams going, he was on every single stream, commenting, like he was listening to all 4 streams. I was like, I can't do that. I'm a guy who's got to be like, I want to focus on what I'm doing. I want to focus on the task at hand. I want to listen to what they're saying. So, Ocarts, I'm with you. I'm trying to find a time that I don't step on everyone's toes. We have Hexologist going live now, Monday through Friday at 12:30 Central Standard Time. I was originally doing noon streams every single day. My streams typically go longer than 30 minutes, so I didn't know how I was gonna play that. We have Furu Finance who does it at 11 Central Standard Time for me, and so I know I'm kind of stepping on his toes now, and it's tough, guys. It is definitely tough trying to play this game of being a Hex content creator and not stepping on the toes of someone else, you know. But we trying, man. We are definitely trying. But thank you again to everyone who is coming in, who is tuning in, who is having fun, who is joining the chat, who's subscribing to the channel, who's liking the channel, who's liking the videos, commenting, leaving all that stuff. Guys, so much love. Guys, literally so much love I have for every single one of you. Bright Light Crypto says, then it becomes a success. Yes. Exactly. Yeah, you never give up on what you want and believe in, and then it becomes a success. Exactly. It's just how it goes. Right. And so, like, another key aspect of it is making the most of our time to set goals and work towards those goals, whether it's your personal goal, like maybe, learning more about crypto, for example, maybe trying to understand what other folks are doing, whether it's a professional goal, like maybe seeing what other folks are doing to attain what they're doing, and can you implement some of these things in your own professional life as well, right? Whether it's like starting a business and again comparing and contrasting as to what everyone else is doing. But guys, setting a clear objective is by far the best thing that you can do to work toward that objective. Knowing what you are working for is going to help you give you a purpose. It will help give you a direction. It will help allow you to take inspiration from others. But if you don't have a purpose, and that is tough to find, dude, I am not gonna lie. I had this chat with my buddy, another former vet, probably a little bit of time ago, right? whatever time you're on, I'll try making it. Keep up the good work. Big GZ, dude, thank you so much. That means that's so much love. Look at that. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. We have Ocard saying every day is a new learning day. Facts, guys, facts. I was talking with a former vet, right? And so like one thing that you struggle with after you get out of the military is finding purpose. It's a very tough thing to find, because when you're in the military, you know exactly what your purpose is, right? You know exactly what you're training for. You know exactly why you're training. You know what's going on, especially in the wartime environment that we've all been in over the last, 15, 20 years or whatever. So in this whole situation, we know exactly what it was about. You have your purpose. You know exactly what you're doing it for. And all these things are very easy to understand purpose. But when you get out, you have so many skills that are not relatable, or you're not able to apply in the civilian world, right? And it's just like, so you struggle. You just get a job because we have to, buy food, and we want clothes, and we want to put, clothes on our backs and food on the table for the family. So you typically just get a job, but most of the time for folks, and this isn't just military alone, it's just having a job to have a job. It's not, you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're just there because you get paid. And so, sometimes what I found whenever I was in those situations is I would find something and I would find a problem with the situation I was in or the job that I was working on, and I would try to focus on how can I fix this one problem. And so that would be something, for example, like if like the job that I had was in finance, and I would help people, refinance loans, and I would help people with the credit and that kind of stuff. And so something that I would do is I would see a problem with the system. And not only that, I would start trying to find a way to actually make that system better. Now, folks, for those of y'all who don't know, ChatGPT is here. So if you don't have ChatGPT, it's a free open AI system. You can type in your problems. It's 1,000 times better than Google. So if you're going through some struggles at your job right now, you can just be like, here's my struggles that I'm dealing with right now. Any recommendations? And it's like, and it pops out this whole list. Like we have the technology that's available to us now that we can figure out a solution. It doesn't just have to be you going to do your job every single day. Sometimes you can actually come out with the system and then you get tasked. Not only that, you get tasked to actually figure that system out. If you propose this idea to your higher ups, your supervisors, and they build it up and they talk to their supervisors or whatever, sometimes you end up being that person in charge and you end up getting your own team. And then everything that you were doing before now is completely focused on the problem solving that you got to create. So sometimes it's just a matter of figuring that stuff out. That was something I would always try to do, because finding purpose is tough. But once you do have a purpose, you can actually then define a goal. You can then work toward that goal. Like for me right now, goal is to be at 600 subscribers by the end of the month. Well, how do I do that? Well, I talk about stuff that I really enjoy. I'd figure out different ways to do it. I'm coming up with different strategies to actually implement stuff. I talk about getting to the subscriber count, right? And I'm doing what I can in order to get there. But for me, it's just a matter of like, this is how I will get things done. And so we do take inspiration from others. It's something that I have done many, many, many times. I still do it to this day. I watch people in the Hex ecosystem, in our ecosystem right now, and again, we have so many folks who are doing such great things right now in our ecosystem. Yes, there is a lot of FUD. Yes, there is now a divide that I've been seeing happening because of new projects that are coming out. And again, like I don't try to let that deter me from my objective, because I have a clear focus on what I want to see done. And so these little obstacles, when they start coming in my way, I'm able to hurdle over them. I'm able to avoid them. I'm able to go a different route, or change directions to avoid that delay. Because if I focus my energy and my thoughts on what's going on with that negativity or the divide that's happening, then I start definitely focusing on things that won't allow me to achieve my goal. And it's easy to get freaking distracted, guys. I have ADHD or ADD, or I got something, right? I don't know what I got, but I get fucking distracted all the time. And y'all see it in my streams where I could be talking about something and then I go and just start doing a tangent, and then sometimes I never even come back. I've realized that after I finish my stream, sometimes I look back and I'm like, damn, I forgot what I was talking about, or I went on a tangent and never actually looped back around to close out why I was talking about it. So like coming back, taking inspiration from everyone, and we have Taktarov in the house. I appreciate you coming through. We have everyone saying hi, everyone. Greetings from Poland, guys. We got folks tuning in all around the world. Gabriel is actually a part of the reason why I started doing this kind of like 10 o'clock time frame, Central Standard Time for me, because he said it does help people in Europe. And so that is a portion of our community that is massive in our ecosystem. But I love sharing this because, again, like these are just thoughts that I have that I'm able to put out there and I'm able to convey. And just being able to sometimes convey this information helps me. right? It helps me also remember that I have to focus back on the purpose, right? And so while it may help out you, and that's something that, guys, if I can impact just one person's life at the end of everything, at the end of all my streams, at the end of everything, if I can just change one person's life for the better, like that's going to be a massive monumental moment. And it's something that will naturally happen. And I don't, if it happens organically and naturally, like that is perfect, because that's what I'm going for. I'm looking to become an inspiration maybe for the next person who wants to come on and talk about different items, and maybe they don't want to just talk about crypto, and maybe they want to talk about other stuff. I want to show that that's again possible, and talking about mental health and everything like that. I definitely think that it needs to be brought up in conversation more, and that we need to focus on it in our community, and the person to your left and right. I had a coworker buddy of mine who I would always have to say, like, we don't know what's going through their head, and the shit that goes through my head can be absolutely terrible. And so we don't know what's going through that person's head. So sometimes giving that person a break and not seeing things from your point of view, but and you don't have to understand their point of view, but to understand that they're going through their own struggles right now, that we all had to fight an evil that again we may never understand for the person left and right of us, but it's there. Sometimes just having that realization of a moment can just be a game changer for that other person, because again it's just that extra little thought that you start giving things when you want to react a certain way to something. You don't have to go with that reaction, right? And so I just want to share that as well. But this is how we build, guys. We take inspirations from everyone. We take inspirations from other individuals. We build a extremely strong and very supportive community. That is what led me to this ecosystem of the hexagons. This is what allowed me to start streaming and doing what I'm doing at this present moment in time. I've talked about this in the past. It's very hard to find the camaraderie that you have in the military, and I found that the Hexagon community was probably the closest that I've ever been able to find to the camaraderie that you have with your brotherhood and sisterhood, with everyone to your left and right, all working toward the same goal and all having a good outlook on what's going to end up coming. So that was huge. This is part of why I'm streaming. This is part of why I share with everything is that I'm doing, because again, if I was able to find it through people talking about it, then again, if I'm just able to find a few extra people and those people can spread this with a few extra people, it's incredible. So we definitely learn from those who have done other stuff. Like Nelson Mandela fought racial equality, guys. That was something that like you look back at like Martin Luther King Jr. You look back at Nelson Mandela fighting all this racial equality, reconciliation in South Africa, finding ways to fight for civil rights, fight for equality. Like these are massive movements that it just took one person, but it changed so many lives. And to this day, we still recognize these folks. You know what I mean? RIP to both of them. They're gone. They're no longer with us. And this is what Richard Hart talks about. If we have the ability to work on science and extend our lives, like how much more? And then granted, like, we know how MLK was killed. Hi, baby. All the boys right here. Too cute. She's actually got the day off today, so we're gonna be doing a little bit of a fun activity, family style. So, looking to have fun with that as well. But again, we have folks who have fought for so many things, and so many lessons that have been shared, and so many comments that have been shared, and you can see the love and positivity that they were able to spread. And yes, it was a fight of a battle that we have to persist. And while we may not fight to the levels they are fighting at or they fought at, we still have our battles that we have to fight with as well, right? And so I want everyone to remember continuing to push forward through all these struggles, all these items, everything happening is by far going to be a little bit crazy time. Now, again, this stream isn't, I'm not going to be talking about like hex price or anything like that, though. The hex price has been pumping recently. You know what I mean? So just having an absolute blast, seeing green candles. But and this information is really just a spread of positivity that I want everyone to be focusing on, right? Because it's definitely important that we find purpose in what we do, whether it's your job, whether it's a hobby, whether you go volunteer, you know, something that can bring you joy and fulfillment can make your life more meaningful. It has an impact on so many other folks that you don't even understand or you may not know. So I take inspiration from all these folks and people in the community in our ecosystem, and I try to develop my own thesis and my own sentiments and what I bring to the table and where I'm able to share. But guys, this whole thing just becomes a reminder that it's not over until you're dead. Like the battle's happening every single day. We can always do something. We can always do something with our time. We can face adversity. We come out ahead. We come out on top. We want to set. We want to achieve our goals. You want to surround yourself with positive, supportive folks, guys. Like one thing I had to learn, and I'm sharing just my thoughts and my life and my reality because this is what I know and it's something I can talk on. But it's something that, like, I had friends who, this is 10 years ago, who I had grown up with for, since third grade, grew up together, stuck together, did everything together, joined the Marine Corps, did my own thing, and kind of learned that, again, I had a different set of brotherhood found in that moment in time, that it was more impactful than those friends from third grade. It was absolutely wild. But I came back and I realized that I wanted so much more out of my life. And I realized they didn't have a goal. They weren't purpose driven, and then you look back 10 years from now and they're still in the same situation they were 10 years ago, whether it be living with parents or whether it be, not having any focus or building a career or achieving further wealth or doing anything. They just want to hang out and continue to do what they did 10 years ago and 20 years ago. And so it's like for me in that moment in time, I realized that if I go back to that environment, I'm just going to end up in the same position they did. I'm going to end up in the same position. And I don't want to end up in that same position. Yes, they're close friends, and yes, we can remain friends. But there's a difference between remaining friends and letting them choose what your life is going to look like. And I'm not going to allow them to choose what my life is going to look like. I am going to set that path myself. So let's make a deal right now, right? Let's make a deal to bring these positive folks in the life, bring the supportive folks in your life. Let's get rid of the negativity. If you got folks who are doubting your dreams and just don't believe in you, don't believe your path, you don't need that negativity in your life. And I'm not, guys, sometimes that can be a spouse and that can be very difficult. That's a tough situation. And so because not having the support with your closest mate can be probably the most difficult thing you can do. But if you know in your heart of hearts that what you're doing is right, then you need to continue down that path and face the adversity that's ahead. Face the obstacles that come along, right? We need to set and achieve goals for ourselves, for our dreams. So let's make the most of the time that we have. Let's leave a positive impact on the world. Let's find a reason because, guys, it's not over until you're dead. And again, like, that's part of this whole stream right here. It's just having fun, chatting with everyone. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's forefront. Tomorrow we're not going to be maybe so heavy on the topic today. We're going to dive back into what people are doing, seeing the activity happening around crypto, seeing the activity happening around the price action, and get back to the what we do, right? We just share different stuff everywhere all the time. But I have this moment that I just want to again share with everyone that we have a massive opportunity in front of us right now. As long as we stick to your guns, as long as you stick to your goal, as long as you focus on your purpose and what you're doing and why you're doing it, we're gonna win. You're gonna make it. You gotta face the adversity. Sometimes going through and getting out and just knowing that no matter what the situation may seem, right, that things are going to turn around, especially in this aspect of life, right? This is another chapter in our book of life, in your book of life. Thank you so much, Bright Light Crypto. It took a while to get here, my friend. You got a good head in this space. Keep it up like that. Thank you so much. But like I said, it took a while for me to get to where I was able to at least formulate what I can say in my head, because you always want to think positive. You always want to have it happen, and then you hit traffic first thing in the morning, and you're like, ah, right, or something like that, or you show up late, and then the first thing you hear is just like bickering right at you. And so sometimes facing that adversity straight on and not just pushing it to the side can be beneficial. Sometimes remembering that again, you got a bigger purpose in life, and this little portion of your moment in your life right here is just a small chapter or a small paragraph in your book of life. And guys, I want to focus on that as well. I want everyone to remember that again, we're here in the long run, we're here for the long haul. We are absolutely having fun with each other, and I'm so thankful to be here with this community. So thankful to be here with everyone in the chat. So thankful to be here and just spreading what I can with my insights and my knowledge. But guys, my name is ATX Crypto. I'm gonna be hopping off the stream for today. Come back, check out my stream tomorrow. I do a daily stream live. It's seeming like around 10:30 Central Standard Time. We're gonna get the times narrowed down again once we get everything all sorted and figured out. But thank you so much to everyone who came in, participated in the chats. I have an absolute massive love for every single one of you. Respect, brother. I'm still in active duty, served with many U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan and Iraq. That's how I got to Hex and then PLS and PLS sacrifices. Keeping fingers crossed for the community. My man, right there, dude. Keep your head down. Remember that again, the battles that we're facing right now are just a small chapter in the life. Come out ahead, bring the brothers and sisters to the left and right home with you as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this community looks in the next 10, 15 years. Because guys, we are stake long and stake strong all the way out to 55, 55. So you'll be at least seeing my face around the community for quite some time. I appreciate everyone. I want to bring everyone into this community as well. It is an absolute blast. So I'm so thankful I was able to find Hex and I was able to sacrifice for Pulse and Pulse X. And yeah, Taktarov, thank you again so much for being a part of this chat, becoming a member of the YouTube channel. Guys, much love to every single one of you. Thank you so much. Have an absolutely fantastic hump day, and I'll catch y'all in tomorrow's stream. Peace.